What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and I think we're actually up to episode 175 of the show. It is the Daily Vlog Live, episode 175. Sorry, I was a little bit late on the draw here. I wanted to start at noon Pacific time, but I was grabbing like this little last second story, so I had to grab this thing kind of last second style. But yeah, here we are. We are in the building. It is episode 175, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and update that into the live stream. Actually, put the right episode number in here. Episode 175. Okay, what is up? Fluke Rogi is in the building. I've made an incredibly minor alteration to the little chat window that is on the left side. It's a little bit, tiny bit narrower, a little bit more narrow, and so hopefully chat will fit in there decently. Haven't actually tried it in real life yet. Chris Richardson is checking in. Noah, what is up? Did you get your Magic Leap yet? Hey Noah, check this out. Chris Richardson right above you got to sample a Magic Leap 1. And so Noah, I'm not sure if you tried it yet, but Chris Richardson has actually tried Magic Leap 1. So let's see what is going on today. Honestly, news is kind of not a lot of it, really. So I thought maybe what we could get into was we could talk about a couple of comments that I've seen on the show, some YouTube comments that I've seen in recent days on some of these shows. Hello, everyone. VR Spry Guy is checking in. What is up? And so the first comment I have here is Alan Harrington, and he had this comment like a day or so ago. He says, VR has no games. I have about 70 in my library to catch up on, and about the same number on my wish list. That is Alan Harrington. And you know what? I think he's responding for the other day I was saying people say this, people say VR has no games. That's the number one complaint. Like if you talk to your typical flat gamer, they're going to say, yeah, man, but VR has no games. VR has no games. That's what they say. I made a comment about that, and Alan Harrington is like, no way, man. I got games coming up the yin-yang. Hey, we do have an Australia listener in the building. Nifty Retro Gamer Neil Morris is checking in. What is up, man? 3 a.m. in Australia. Oh my God, that is crazy. It's good to have an Australian representation because Nifty Retro Gamer Neil, just yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, we were talking about spiders and we were talking about venomous things. And I said, do we have anybody from Australia? Because, oh my God, they have the most venomous creatures of all time. So you know what? I resized my chat window a little bit. And let's see here. That's not what I wanted to highlight. Let me see. I resized my chat window a tiny bit, and I think it's just a little bit too fat. So let me try to see if I can fix this. Now I'm screwing the whole thing up. Oh my God, I'm screwing the whole thing up. Trying to grab the corner of this. Okay, there we go. That gets a little bit smaller. Hopefully people will squeeze. There we go. I think we'll squeeze in really nice. I think that works really good. So yeah, anyways, that was Alan Harrington. VR has plenty of games. We all know that. I am absolutely struggling like you would not believe with the game situation on VR. There's too many as far as I'm concerned. Here's another comment. So this was Tessrim. This was several days ago. Don't remember the episode it was, but I know it was the Electronauts episode. Yeah, there's a section of that episode. Oh man, look at Scion's post in chat is cut off a tiny bit. So I guess it isn't quite perfect. Let me see. Oh, now I'm shrinking the wrong thing again. Okay, let's see. We want chat. Let me try to shrink chat just a tiny bit. Why does this want to happen to me now? Okay, there's chat. Shrink it just a tiny bit. Now let's go back. Okay, This should probably squeeze people in just barely like that. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so Tessrim, this was a couple days ago. He said, "Who removed the audio? Electronauts?" One of my videos, when we streamed it, we did it live. And then after it was over, typically these videos, like 1 hour after they're over, you can just watch the pre-recorded version and it's no big deal. So, I stream it live 11 a.m. Pacific time. So by 2 hours later, you can watch the backup version of the show. But I had one episode, it was like banned in all these different countries for like most of the day, and it was because of a song. And I think it was in Electronauts, and I think it was a Chainsmokers song. And this particular Chainsmokers song, like whoever has the publishing rights to Chainsmokers, like they don't want none of those songs in any kind of YouTube videos apparently. And so it was blocked for a long time, and then I used some special YouTube thing that like will remove the audio from that one section, and I haven't even rewatched that part, so I don't know how horrible that is. One thing I've thought about on occasion is, should I actually get my old shows and edit them and delete the streamed version that they just put on there automatically, instead edit them, and then edit the beginning, edit the end, edit some minor situations like this out of it. I thought about that, but it's too much work. So we have a dude from Norway who is watching while drinking an ice cold beer. That is the Rex Terra. Bullet Ape is checking in. Scion is here. Hi, finally made it for a live stream. Been watching your show for almost a year. I enjoy your content the most. That is awesome. Really love that. VR Spry Guy says, "Did you see Facepalm's last video got bit by a bug and had to have surgery?" Oh man, this is like a thing that is going on. We had another guy in chat the other day. He got bit by a black widow and he had to take a neurotoxin, which was kind of crazy. So yeah, we got a number of people checking into chat. But yeah, that is what happened with the audio there. Let's see, I have a couple other comments I can go to. Marcelo Neves had a comment. He says, Marcelo Neves, he's saying the problem with these kinds of live shows is that it's difficult to watch it later because of the length of it. And Marcelo, I totally understand that. And that is a situation, honestly, if you look at like the subscriber numbers, the views and all of that, these super long shows, they are very appealing to people. Oh my God, he had to have a chunk of his arm removed? That is freaking ridiculous. Was it like West Nile virus or something? I'm in California and we've got some West Nile virus up in here. It's always like anytime I see mosquitoes flying around, it gets me a little bit nervous. Terry Blanchard checking in from London, England. But basically, going back to this comment from Marcelo Neves, he's talking about these long shows. They're difficult to watch, and I totally understand that. And my recommendation, I did reply to his comment, and I said, you know what? My recommendation is skip like the first 5 minutes, skip the last 10 minutes. It's that chewy nougat in the center. It's the chewy center that is better, I think. There's usually what happens with this show is it kind of starts off slow, and then there's like this little point where it kind of gets going and it gets rolling, and there's like an energy that goes for a little while, and then the end of the show is usually kind of crappy too. So it's kind of like the middle is the best part. But my recommendation would be just watch it until you get bored, and when you get bored, bounce to something else. No problem. I don't care. I mean, if you watch like 5 minutes of the show, that doesn't matter. Whatever, watch anything you want. It's cool with me. Let's see another comment here. Did I already pop this comment up? This is, okay. This is Doyle Clever Lobe 1, and he's responding to Magic Leap 1, the arrival of Magic Leap 1. This was a couple days ago. He said, gonna have to give it a hard pass. Yeah, I think anybody is gonna have to give it a hard pass unless they got a lot of money to burn, because that is $2,300, or unless you are actually developing Magic Leap software. And I honestly think it would be super cool. Like if I had no other responsibilities in life, if I could have a Magic Leap 1 and start screwing around trying to make software, but I have no experience coding anything, I would be starting from complete scratch. But how cool would it be to have a Magic Leap 1, write some lines of code, screw around with it. You connect your Magic Leap 1 to your laptop or whatever, you upload that code, and then real quick you could be seeing little things popping around in your room. I mean, I'm sure it would be incredibly rudimentary. You wouldn't really know what you're doing in the beginning, but it would be fun. But yeah, if you're a regular consumer, you're probably going to give it a hard pass unless you are a multimillionaire. Let's see, I think I have one more other comment that was kind of in relation to Magic Leap as well, and this is VRium, and VRium says, let's forget all the hype and look at what Magic Leap will bring to AR. I love the steampunk style, by the way. So yeah, he's talking about Magic Leap. It does kind of have this steampunk style with the glasses. He's saying, let's let all the hype wash away and let's consider what Magic Leap actually is. And you know, I understand it's very hard to do that because Magic Leap, I mean, they brought a lot of that drama on for themselves they just hyped it up ridiculously. I got caught up in the hype. I'm going to admit that I am probably mostly wrong about Magic Leap. I mean, because my hype has not been justified in any way, shape, or form, although we are starting to hear that people that are getting their Magic Leaps, they're like saying, look, the hate is a little bit overblown. Yeah, Magic Leap isn't that great, but it does have some good things here. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. But I got to be honest and say that I was hoping for miracles. You know, I wanted to see people standing in the room with me and being like, oh my God, look at that. There is a freaking alien creature standing right there. I still want to see Dr. Groardborts. Like, isn't there a demo of Dr. Groardborts that's on these Magic Leap 1s? Actually, Noah, if you're watching, I want you to respond in chat in relationship to Magic Leap 1, because my number one question is this. I thought there was a demo to Dr. Groardbort's Invaders, so why aren't we seeing... Oh, okay, Noah's there. So here's the question, Noah. Isn't there a really short demo to Dr. Groardbort's Invaders? And why haven't we seen like through the lens footage of that on YouTube yet? Because that's what I want to see more than anything else, because that is their AAA thing, you know, because they've said a lot of this other stuff is like Hello World developer stuff. Well, let's see what their AAA thing. Now, the one thing I heard is kind of AAA is, actually, I could throw that video on real quick. It's the one where it shows, it's kind of like this undersea video, right? Let's see. Yeah, Segur Rios. So yeah, this one right here, this is the one kind of triple-ish A type of thing they do have. I'm not hearing any sound. I messed up my sound. Let's see if I can switch back. Still, I'm not hearing any sound. I screwed up on my sound. But yeah, this is kind of the one AAA-ish thing that I guess they do have as far as a demo goes, which is this kind of like underwater thing. And some people have raved about this a little bit. But yeah, Dr. Groardborts, that's what like that does look pretty cool. Like that does right there, that looks pretty cool. We have sound. Yeah, you guys have sound. Unfortunately, I don't. I screwed it up, and I'd have to stop the stream and restart it. But actually, you know what? It doesn't create a new stream. I can do that in like 2 seconds. Watch. I still don't have sound. I'd actually have to exit out. So hold on, folks. I'm going to exit out real quick. Okay, sorry about that. But you know what? I have sound now. It's my fault again. Oh, Noah was saying, at VR Game Rankings, what was the question again? The question is, I thought there was a demo for Dr. Groardborts. Like, if I had a Magic Leap 1 right now, I thought there were like 5 things that you could try. And I thought one of them was like a really short demo of Dr. Groardborts. And if there is a really short demo of Dr. Groardborts, why have we not seen any footage? Is the video screwed up? Okay, hopefully it'll be back in the mix here. I had to stop it and restart it so I could get audio. My bad. Is the video okay now? Oh man, I messed it up. I feel like it's not yet finished. Okay, so no, I'm back. Yeah. But what happened to Dr. Gordbort's? Is it not out there? I refreshed and it's fine for me now. Yeah, sorry guys. To be able to get the audio, I had to stop the stream and restart it. So that's what happened there. All right, but anyways, let's go ahead and, yeah, that was my fault, guys. I actually did that on purpose, which was kind of a dumb thing to do. But I was not getting any audio for these trailers, and so if I wanted to throw a trailer on that had some audio, I'd have no idea if it was all jacked up. So that's why I went ahead and did that. But you know what? I'm going to throw a different trailer on, and we can try... This is just some random trailer here, and we can go ahead and move on and go to something else. So Bullet Ape says, I can't imagine why a developer will invest in it. This is not going to have a consumer audience for a long time. Well, why is anybody investing? Why are people making things for HoloLens? It's the same question because it's a $3,000 item. And the thing about HoloLens and Magic Leap 1 is if you believe in the AR future, and a lot of people do believe in an AR future, like 5 to 10 years from now, a lot of people believe AR will eventually basically replace the smartphones. What does the human race do right now? The human race walks around with their smartphone like that. That is what the human race does. You go to a restaurant, there's 4 people eating dinner, they're all looking at their smartphone and eating dinner. And so instead, we're all going to have our glasses on and we're going to be eating dinner. But basically, that's what's going to happen. You know, it's going to replace smartphones. And yeah, it's 10 years away for true mass market. That's why you don't see Apple at all. But you got to be in there now. You got to start working on stuff now. If you want to make a name for yourself in the world of VR, similar to how Survios has made a name for themselves in VR, you got to make an investment now. So I think that's what's going on there. But why don't we go to some other information, some more VR related information? And of course, we also have to talk about the fact that Escalation Studios, this is the studio that brought Skyrim VR to PlayStation VR and brought Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim to PC VR. They are now Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, and apparently they are working on both. They're working on Fallout 76 and they're working on Starfield. They're working on some small parts of the game. That is what Todd Howard told us. So we don't know for sure. Is there going to be VR versions of Fallout 76? Is there going to be VR versions of Starfield? Now, the thing about Starfield is it's many, many, many years away. In fact, I honestly would not expect Starfield until maybe 2021, which sounds batshit insane, but you know how long Bethesda tends to take, and this is a brand new world, a brand new thing that they're doing with Starfield. So I'm thinking 2021. That's off in the distance. VR is going to be more of a primetime thing by that point. So I am absolutely sure that Escalation Studios is helping craft that engine towards VR and dialing it in for VR. And then Fallout 76, like Fallout 76, I don't think anybody thinks that Fallout 76 is going to have VR support immediately. But I also believe that a lot of us think that Fallout 76 is going to have VR support within maybe 6 or 7 months of launch. So, you know, maybe delayed 1 year. It's going to be the same kind of thing. We're going to have to beg for it, and then they're going to eventually give it to us. But Escalation Studios, you know, they did a pretty good job. Skyrim on PSVR was a pretty damn good job. They helped with both Fallout 4 and Skyrim on PC VR. And that is Bethesda Game Studios Dallas. Now, they are not a VR exclusive development house, and we don't know absolutely for certain that they are helping with the VR versions of Starfield and Fallout 76, but it's very likely. It is very likely. So we have had those rumors a little bit as far as that. Let's see, what is Chris Gould saying? Got in late. Did I miss the Magic Leap stuff yet? Yeah, the Magic Leap stuff was very temporary. It was just I had some comments, some YouTube comments that I wanted to go over, so we covered that briefly there. We're talking a little bit right now about Fallout 76 and Starfield, like how quickly do you guys expect to have VR support in Fallout 76? My guess is it could be delayed almost 1 year later, which would suck, but I think that's what's going to happen. Hybrid Energy says, love Bethesda. Thanks to all the VR gifts. The Rex Terra says, I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't announce Doom Eternal VFR. Yeah, or a VR version of Doom Eternal. I know some people are still kind of assuming that Doom Eternal will still have some type of VR support at some point, but that they're just going to save that announcement for later. And then, of course, we still have Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. Have we seen anything new on Wolfenstein Cyberpilot? I haven't really heard about that yet. Because they just had QuakeCon and all of that. You'd think we might find out a little bit new about Wolfenstein. Okay, let's see. What else can we get into? Truth be told, one thing I can get into briefly here is Norman Chan. Speaking of Magic Leap, Chris Gould, this is for you. You didn't come in at the right time. One more slight note in regards to Magic Leap is tested. Norman Chan, that's him right there. He's got his bug-eyed goggles in hand. I think he's borrowing from somebody, but they will have a video. So in the coming next week, early next week, Tested should have a big Magic Leap video. Very much looking forward to that, because these guys, they pull no punches. They will be harsh. They will be real. It is not going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to put it on this Lenovo lady real quick for a second here, and I will go ahead and bounce over to the Vive subreddit, and let's see if there's any new information that is going on, any new stories that are popping off. This is Saturday, so typically news kind of slows down. The number one story on the Vive subreddit is Vive Pro now has stereoscopic pass-through. I thought it always did, but I guess this guy, stereoscopic. Okay, so he's saying, maybe I just missed the update, but went in today and noticed the pass-through was now in 3D, finally. And so that's kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody else has an HTC Vive Pro. Have you tried it? What's your thoughts on that? I kind of always thought it had it. Another news story that we have on the Vive subreddit is NVIDIA rumors. So there's a rumor about a card called the RTX 2080. So what is the RTX 2080? And then what is the 1180? Like, what are the differences between these two cards? Or is this just a different numbering system? Like, we don't officially know what the numbering system is going to be for these next NVIDIA cards. So I'm not sure what this guy's talking about here. They do have a little YouTube video about it, but it's basically just all rumors. It's saying the RTX 2080 should be about 50% faster than a regular GTX 1080, and there's a lot of discussion in there. But I thought it was going to be an 1180. I thought we were getting an 1180 on August 30th, but I don't know, maybe not. One thing that some people are talking about here is upcoming mech game Vox Machina will have crossplay, flat screen, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, Windows Mixed Reality, and flat screen, and it'll also support up to 16 players. You know what? I know I have a trailer for Vox Machina. Let me go ahead and pop that on. Here's the trailer for Vox Machina. Let's take a look at it for a sec. I know somebody in chat the other day was saying they wanted Chrome Hounds VR. And, you know, this is Chrome Hounds VR, right? Hybrid Energy says, been waiting on this one. Very Mech Warrior 2 like. I haven't been into a really hardcore, like not even hardcore mech game since Mech Assault on the original Xbox, way back when Xbox Live first started. I played a game called Mech Assault. Wasn't quite like this, though. Chrome Hounds, I know people raved about Chrome Hounds. I played it a little bit, but didn't really get deep into it. This does look hecka cool, and I believe Vox Machina is coming either late August or maybe early September. This is coming relatively soon. I don't think we have a date for it yet, though. But looks pretty cool. I mean, the trailer looks super cool. Of course, trailers can make everything look cool. But you would think with the inside of the cockpit, it would work very good in VR. And it's good that it's going to have the cross-play. So hopefully the online community can stay around for quite some time. You have your little AI assistant, it looks like. Vox Machina. Is that how you pronounce it? Vox Machina or Vox Machina, I guess, right? It's got to be. I actually saw Ex Machina last night. You know that robot movie? It's on Netflix. Oh my God, that movie is so damn good. I mean, I saw it a long time ago, but I saw it again on Netflix last night. Space Bullet is the developer of Vox Machina, and hopefully it is coming later this month, possibly early September. But yeah, let's see. Was there any other information that they had in this thread? Upcoming mech game, Vox Machina will have crossplay. Let me just click in on the comments here and see if they mention when it's coming out. It's been in development for many years. It will support keyboard and mouse, gamepad, and motion controllers. Yeah, no, we're not seeing any kind of date at all. But yeah, I kind of think it might be possibly later this month, maybe September. So hopefully very soon for that. So we will look forward to that a little bit later. Let me go ahead and bounce off of this trailer. And let's see here. I'm going to have to just grab a miscellaneous trailer. We can throw a Beat Saber trailer on, because Beat Saber is actually in the news. Did you see it was on the Vive subreddit, and I think it was on the Oculus subreddit as well. Some guy took the entire like Shrek soundtrack and like cut it up into little individual pieces and made like this epic Beat Saber song that covers the entire Shrek soundtrack, which I thought, I mean, it's kind of creative to do that. I watched the video of it and it was kind of like really off in the beginning, but it looks like expert level type Beat Saber. So let's see what they're talking about here in chat. So Chris Richardson says, I think tested can be soft on products during reviews. They didn't mention the Lenovo Mirage camera overheats when put in 4K mode and recording video longer than 20 minutes. That's a huge thing to miss. Yeah, I mean, usually I think they're pretty harsh on stuff. But yeah, I mean, they probably don't cover all of the minutia, you know? So, I mean, it's certainly possible that they don't cover all of the minutia. I need to shrink chat just a teeny bit more. Hold on a sec here. Just a little bit more shrinkage there. And then I think we can squeeze chat in nice. Okay, let's squeeze it. There we go. Okay, I think we're good there. Yeah, so Chris Richardson, he's talking about tested. We are waiting for that video a little bit later. Chris Gould says, this is one I am definitely beep for. Chris Gould, definitely looking forward to Vox Machina. Is there single player? I mean, Chris Gould, is there single player? I don't know. I mean, I hope there's some kind of single player bot thing to like get better in. Justin Baker says, this looks dope. Good VR presence. Hope it has a campaign. Yeah, see, in the news there, they're just talking about up to 16 players multiplayer. But I don't know. Let me go to Vox Machina, the website. Vox Machina is built from the ground up to be a VR first title. It's been designed to play wonderfully on flat screens, blah, 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 blah. We're supporting all the major PC VR platforms, Rift, Vive, Windows Mixed Reality, and it'll be on the Oculus Store. You can get it on Steam. Yeah, I'm not really seeing here about whether it's going to have, let's see, features. A unique mix of weighty and tactical simulation. Pilot a hulking robot across hostile planets. Choose between 5 distinct grinder chassis, customize your loadout and an array of devastating weaponry, play offline on a local network or online with up to 16 players. So if you can play offline, it's got to have some type of, so hopefully it has something for single players. Because, yeah, I mean, I'd want to play it a lot single player and then maybe get into multiplayer matches as well, as I felt a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, Paradise is in the building. What is up, Paradise? What are you covering right now, Paradise? Like, what is hot in VR right now? Oh, you know what I could talk about, actually? I could talk a little bit about some Hellblade. Let me get Hellblade on here because I've gotten further into Hellblade, so I'll talk a little bit about that for a sec. Okay, so let's see. In regards to Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, so I've been playing this game, but like I said, I dipped my toes in the water. I'm really slow getting into this. And I got to that first gate. I had the problem. I couldn't get through the first gate. Then some people in chat helped me out. I saw the thing on the wall, blah, blah, blah. I get through the first gate. Then I got stuck at the second gate. And let me tell you, the second gate was not my fault. It was some kind of bug because I watched playthroughs of the second gate and figured out how to solve it. And then I went back into Hellblade and it simply didn't work. So there was just some type of bug. So I said, okay, I still like this game Hellblade. People are still raving about this game Hellblade. I want to get back into it. So I'm going to just start over from scratch. So last night, I started the game over from scratch, and it was fun to kind of go through that initial sequence again just to see all the cinematics and everything. And so I got through the first door, bam, right away. Got to the second door where I was stuck forever, and boom, got through it in like 1 minute flat. It was like no big deal whatsoever. So I was stuck on a bug there. Then I got through that gate and moved a little bit further, and that's when I actually battled the very first boss, like, the Raven whatever boss that you have to battle, right? So I hadn't even battled the first boss yet, if you can believe it. And so I finally battled the first boss. I survived that. I got past the first boss. And so now, the section I'm at now is I'm in that other door doing whatever I have to do to get through the next gate. So I'm still incredibly, incredibly early. But I have played more of the combat for Hellblade, and the thing about the combat is I still can't figure out how to block a sword strike. Like, I've tried every button on the controller. I could have sworn Paradise Decay said it's just the left trigger, or maybe it's the left bumper. I'm hitting my left trigger, I'm hitting my left bumper. I can't find a button where she goes like this and she just holds up her sword just to like block. Is that possible? I could never get that to work. So the way I'm doing combat in Hellblade is I am just spamming the Y button. Just bam, bam. I'm basically playing like, track and field, Konami track and field. I'm just going like on the Y button and basically just button mashing and just attacking. Okay, Chris Cox says it's the right bumper. Top right bumper. Okay, so there really is a block. I could have sworn I tried every single button. Okay, well, maybe that will make combat a little bit better. The one thing I did learn with combat is one of the buttons, I think it might be the A button, you do a roll. And the roll maneuver is absolutely mission critical. You absolutely have to do the roll, and you have to time your roll pretty well, because especially when you're in that boss fight with that big Raven thing and he like torpedoes at you, you got to do that roll before he does the torpedo. You got to time it right. They're also saying, and if you time it right, you counter. Oh my God, how do you know that? How do you not know that? No, I did counter. I was timing my attacks so that, oh, you mean the block, if you time the block right. Well, I was timing my attacks so that I attacked kind of right when he attacked, and then it would kind of stumble him a little bit. So I've been kind of bush and mashing my way through this, but doing the roll. The combat is pretty good, but you can kind of really bush and mash your way through it. Rolling is key. Fluke is talking about this. Rolling is key. After learning how to block, I never used it again. Rolling recovers faster and is less dangerous, in my opinion. Yeah, I am rolling like crazy. The other thing I'm doing is one of the bumpers or triggers goes into a slow motion mode. like time kind of freezes up for a second. I was doing that. I was going into the slow motion mode and then trying to run up and like just wail on these guys. And so I have been playing a little bit more of that. I kind of want to try to work my way through it, and see if I can finally put this game to bed. I know I'm still like incredibly early on in the game, but I would like to work my way through it about a bit. Okay, so let's see here. So yeah, I did play a little bit more of that, so that was cool. I wanted to get back into that, wanted to give it some love. I'm going to just throw on a random trailer here while I look for some news. Okay, let's bounce over to Upload VR. Like, what is Upload VR doing today on their website? They have a hands-on Magic Leap 1 Creators Edition, kind of an old story. They're talking about virtual battlegrounds, aims to be the ultimate VR battle royale game. We've heard about that. In fact, I think I have a video for that. Virtual backgrounds. Let me see if I can find... I think I have a trailer for that. I'm pretty sure I grabbed a trailer for that before. Every time I think if I grabbed a trailer or not, I didn't. Or I did and I somehow erased it. Or I can't find it. Yeah, I'm not seeing virtual battlegrounds. It might be named something else. Phil Yarn told us get into the Zero Caliber Alpha. Did anybody try to get into the Zero Caliber Alpha? I actually did not try to do it. Okay, Fluke Rogi says, you can save those slow mode uses up. You can save up to 3 of them and then use them. I didn't know until my second playthrough. Yeah, well, I know like if you use one, I know you got to wait for it to build up, but I didn't really know how that works. But yeah, I'm starting to use the slow-mo. I need to use the block, though. I really want to use the block. Paradise Decay says, and if you hold down one of the bumpers and use your attack, she does long distance attacks. Yeah, I did do the kicks. I did do the run up and stab move and some of the other kick moves. So the combat isn't like terribly awful or anything. And the graphics are just drop dead gorgeous in that game, Hellblade. And I played a little bit of the adventure mode. I mean the tabletop mode, and it is straight Pixar cartoon. It really is Pixar cartoon. This is Zero Caliber. I'm going to get a sip of water. Okay. Yeah, so Phil Yarn, yesterday I believe he was saying sign up for this, sign up for the alpha, which I did not. Sign up for the open or closed alpha or whatever. I didn't sign up for it. It does look pretty cool though. Zero Caliber. All right, so let me get back to... Yeah, so Upload VR doesn't really have anything going on as far as I can see here. I'm going to bounce over to Road to VR, take a quick look. Road to VR, so now their big news story of the day is the 5 best free games on HTC Vive. The lab is going to be in the mix. Let's see what they have. Okay, so number 1, the lab, which technically is free on Oculus as well. I mean, you just go to Steam and play it. Number 2, Rec Room. Number 3 is Archangel Hellfire. A lot of love for that. Number 4, Waltz of the Wizard. I'm assuming you could play Waltz of the Wizard just fine with a Rift as well, right? And number 5 is Accounting. Honestly, I don't think Accounting is a game. I kind of think of it as an experience. Accounting plus maybe a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to check the 3 subreddits real quick, and then I'll bounce back to chat. So PSVR subreddit, they're talking about Drunken Bar Fight. It's super fun, but a shitty game at the same time. What do you think they need to do to make it better? Yeah, it's a funny game, for like 5 minutes or so. Oh, Ace Combat. There is some news on Ace Combat, guys. Let me go ahead and pop that into the trailer. This is what I copied like right before the show. This is the reason I was like 2 minutes late, because I saw this little Ace Combat thing and I was like, I gotta copy this. So apparently Ace Combat has just posted this very, very recently, like on a YouTube video or something. It's like a reply, and it's, we know you've waited long enough and your patience will very soon be rewarded. So what are they talking about here? Is this game just going to freaking come out and just bam, it's out? Or are we going to finally get a release date? Because we don't know what the hell is going on with Ace Combat. But supposedly, our patience will be rewarded. Here's the Ace Combat trailer. So that is some news there with Ace Combat. Maybe we'll finally get some information on it. I mean, this game has seemingly been in development for like ever. Oh, you know, the Ghostbusters game is out. Did anybody try that? Those new Ghostbusters games are out on Vive and Rift now. And I saw they dropped their price as well. Let's see. The number one story on the Oculus subreddit is the new podcast F Reality. How many people? I really like that name. Like, that is a great name. F Reality. Like, let's just give a big F to reality. Forget about reality. How many people checked that one earlier today? That was one of the reasons that we kind of redid the time of this show and started at noon so that, you know, that would be done. And then if you wanted to bounce over here, that would be fine for that. But F Reality getting some pub on the Oculus subreddit. So that is cool. Little bit of talk about Echo Combat. Of course, that another open beta is coming next week. We're looking forward to that. Oh, you know, one thing I can talk about. So I ordered an Oculus Rift on Thursday night, and it said 2 days shipping. I ordered it from Oculus.com, and I think maybe that was a mistake. I should have bought it on Amazon. But I ended up ordering it from Oculus.com, and it said 2 days shipping. And then it sent me like tracking information, and my Oculus Go was in Kentucky, and then it was in Illinois, and it's telling me I'm not going to get it until next Thursday, that it's going to take an entire week to get to me, which is like, what? That is hecka lame, man. It said 2 days shipping. I thought I would have my Go this weekend, but I might not get it till next week sometime, so that's kind of lame. But I'm finally getting an Oculus Go, so I'll finally be able to talk about that a little bit. Paradise Decay says, I'm kind of part of the show. I talk to those guys on a daily basis and I help moderate the chat. Oh, okay. Paradise is the man of all things. He does everything. Terry Blanchard says, I heard Ghostbusters sucks after giving it to an indie developer. Yeah, Ghostbusters looks absolutely terrible. It really does. Oh, Kevgret is saying Golem will come out before Ace Combat. Yeah, those are two perennially delayed games. Paradise Decay says, Ace Combat VR will be another reason I need to get PSVR. Yeah, you kind of need PSVR. You really do. There's a little too, especially if you're into VR as much as you are, Paradise, because there's always a few key games that hit PSVR that you have to have PSVR. Chris Richardson says, welcome to the Go team. Well, not quite yet. Maybe next week, welcome me to the Go team. Your Oculus can't go. Yeah, it's got some issues. It's got prostate problems. Needs some, what's that stuff? Salmonella seeds or something. Scion VR, Oculus Go. Yeah, my Oculus Go. Oh, Pinnacle Rising says, hey, Anthony, you should have bought your Go at Best Buy. No waiting. Actually, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I should have just went to Best Buy, you know, because, I mean, I got free shipping from Oculus, but yeah, I could have just went to Best Buy. I would have paid sales tax, but that was a mistake. Why did I do that? I should have just went to Best Buy. Terry Blanchard says, I love my PSVR almost as much as my Vive. There's just too much interesting stuff on PSVR not to have one, I think. Paradise Decay says, have you tried the Go? Or no, I have never tried the Go, but see, everybody on VR Roundtable has a Go. Steve has a Go. Gary has a Go. Chris has a Go. I'm the only one that doesn't have a Go. And so sometimes there's some experiences on the Go that they all want to talk about, and I'm the only one that can't say anything. So I wanted to get a Go for that reason. But I also wanted to go because, well, it's just a new library of games. I want to try the wire, you know, the no wire situation. And I just want to see, you know, what can you experience on a Go? There's a number of reasons I wanted to get a Go. So I'm definitely going to be hyped to check that out. I just think it's just a good idea for me to have a Go from a lot of different angles. Okay, let's see. Oh, Hybrid Energy. PSVR isn't good. Sony exclusives are good. That's the problem. They own too much high-end studios of games I want to play. I wouldn't say PSVR isn't good. PSVR has tracking issues. It only has one camera, and the Move controllers weren't designed for VR. VR Spry Guy says, you guys on VR Roundtable are starting to look like Oculus fanboys. Starting? I thought people already called us like Oculus Roundtable or Rift Roundtable or something like that. Yeah, appearances can be deceiving because I'll straight up tell you, I have no allegiance to nothing. I really don't. If freaking Black and Decker came out with a killer ass VR platform tomorrow and it was just the best VR platform, I would be on Black and Decker. I don't have an allegiance to Oculus, but the thing I will say about Oculus is they got some good products. You just got to give credit where credit's due. See, I'm not in the whole political hate Oculus and they are spies. Facebook is a spy soaking up all of your life force. I understand that. And I understand those thoughts. I don't get involved with that. I'm just here to play games and have fun. And they've got some pretty damn good products, man. I mean, the Oculus Rift is a product I can really recommend. And it's really the controllers and it's the price and it's the overall package. And the Oculus Go, it was $199. I got the cheapo version. I thought, let's just try the cheapo version. I don't need the extra storage space. It's $200, like shipping and tax. It was like $217, so it was like, what the heck? Got to try a Go. VR Spry Guy says, speaking of, are you guys doing VR Roundtable Live? That is the plan, 9 a.m. 9 a.m., so it's kind of early, 9 a.m. Pacific. So it's a little bit early, kind of more like how the F Reality started, kind of, I guess. And then this show here, our show, I need to remind everybody, tomorrow, this show is the after party. We start 5 minutes after VR Roundtable is over. I just pop my OBS up and say, okay, we'll do a little bit of an after party show. So that is going to be our live show tomorrow. Probably, let's see, we'll probably go 9 a.m. to I would say probably around 10:45 a.m. is probably, or maybe 11 a.m. will be this show tomorrow. It'll start right after that. The Rex Terra says, Oculus face hugger meme. Tom Lloyd says, for gaming, I love my Samsung Odyssey. There's somebody that really hates the Odyssey. I was looking at some comments. Paradise Decay, and watching Ready Player One in 3D in the Go is just like being back at the cinema without the popcorn. That's another thing I do need to try, is try watching some type of movie in the Go like that. Oculus support has been very good in my experience. Luckily, I haven't had to deal with Oculus support yet, so hopefully that will continue for a very long time. Pinnacle Rising says, I have a Go, a Rift, and PSVR. Love all three. I have most of the bases covered. Hybrid Energy is saying Anthony is not a fanboy. Well, maybe Magic Leap prior to its release. Laugh his ass off. Yeah, if I'm a fanboy of anything, it was Magic Leap, and it was more just the excitement. I just wanted something to come out of nowhere and blow us all away. Unfortunately, Magic Leap doesn't appear to be that thing, but still a little bit interested there. No, I'm not a fanboy. Man, I'm trying to think. There was a time, like maybe when I had a Super Nintendo, I was a Super Nintendo fanboy. And when I had a PlayStation, the first PlayStation, I was a PlayStation fanboy. But basically, since those days, I have not been a fanboy. I basically buy everything. I don't really care. Chris Gold says, Anthony, when you get the Go, try these two titles. Vendetta. It's mini elite, crap graphics, good game, and Relic Seeker, Hypogeum. No one talks of this, and I think it is the best game on the Go. Very interesting. Tom Lloyd says, when people talk to you in VR while inside the Go, people in real life can hear them too because the audio shoots out the sides. Yeah, that's if you're not using headphones, right? But wouldn't you want to use headphones maybe? Lethal Weasel VR says, I am more excited for Pimax than Magic Leap. You know what, Lethal Weasel? I'm more excited for Star VR than I am for Pimax, because Star VR has Acer manufacturing it. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not really more excited. Scion VR, my recent Oculus support experience was lousy. They sent me a refurbished headset with scratched lenses, and the right headphone fell off when I picked it up. Oh, yeah. So anything bad could happen anywhere. Anthony, Deadliest is great on the go. Isn't that made by Vertical Robot, the guys that made Red Matter? Tom Lloyd says it comes with built-in speakers that tunnel the audio down the straps. I'll definitely try that before I switch over to headphones. Speaking of that, where the hell is Pimax? Yeah, we haven't heard much about Pimax recently. Let me change up this trailer. So we don't have any news at all, but we are talking a lot in chat. So sometimes if there's no news, just go to chat. Pinnacle Rising, I choose the Rift over the Odyssey for the Oculus Store. I found it more comfortable and the touch controllers are the best. Yeah, Red Matter. Yeah, it is the Red Matter, guys. Yes, it is. Yeah, so that makes me want to try Deadliest. Is that how you pronounce it? But that makes me want to try that one. There's a ton of stuff. I want to try Henry on the go. I've heard Henry on the go looks really good. And then, Carmack, right? He did that little hack or whatever that makes like the resolution look really good on some stuff. I want to try that as well. Ray Delatorre says, I definitely play my Samsung Odyssey more than the Rift. So we kind of have, it's like Samsung versus the Rift. We have a few people that are kind of lining up on the Samsung side. We got a few people on the Rift side. I'm still hopeful later in the month of August, maybe a new Samsung Odyssey. Maybe a next gen Samsung Odyssey. How interesting would that be? Paradise says, hearing good things about Pimax from his buddies Sweeviver, Sebastian, and Voodoo DE. Yeah, where's Sebastian? Haven't seen him in chat recently. Chris Richardson, Anthony, try Riftcat to play Beat Saber on Go. There's too much stuff for me to try, guys. I can't try it all. But I'll definitely check it all out. So let's see. I'm going to bounce over. Just take a quick look at these subreddits, see if there's any late-breaking stories. But I don't think so. It is Saturday. Yeah. I don't think we'll find any late breakers. But quick double check. Yep. All right, well, we're not finding too much here. Okay, back to chat. Is that a drift? Yes, that is a drift. Which, of course, we had the story about Adam Orth. I think it earlier this last week, the Adam Orth story where he, actually, I can throw that trailer on the whole Adam Orth thing. Yeah, and then he went on to 310. And Adam Orth has kind of become a little bit of a celebrity guy briefly here. But yeah, he had that whole deal with it thing, with the Xbox 360. And ended up getting fired from Microsoft. They basically killed his career. He went to the 310, and then they did make a drift. A drift was not designed with VR 100% in mind. So I know a lot of people, I Am Ruts is saying, I just can't deal with the jank. I think he's talking about a drift, and there was some jank. And then, of course, that is Don Matrix of Xbox. Many people believe he single-handedly basically doomed the Xbox. Adam Orth went on to 310, and he was working for, the Firewall devs for a sec. Firewall 0 Hour, First Contact devs. Tom Lloyd says, Samsung Odyssey, in my opinion, doesn't have horrible tracking. I win most shooting games like Standout VR against players using mostly Rift and Vive players. Yeah, I would love to try a Samsung Odyssey. I'm not anti-Samsung in any way. The Rex Terra says, it's a little bit of a risk when you buy games for Samsung Odyssey that it isn't officially supported. When I'm playing a chair in the room, I get some weird artifacts on my left eye. Yeah, see, there's nothing that can substitute for owning all of these different things and being able to try them. And also, it's great to be able to put a PSVR headset on, and then 10 minutes later you put a Rift headset on. And then 10 minutes later, you put a Vive headset on. And 10 minutes later, you put an Acer on. And if you can do that enough, you can really get a feel for how these things really work. And that's why it's a great idea to actually get the stuff into your house, actually try that. That's one of the cool things about guys like Sebastian and Sweeviver. They get everything, man. They get every little they get like every little TP cast wireless thing. They get every little thing that's out there, and then they try all of them, and they get a really good familiarity with it, you know, and that's nice. I'd like to do that myself as well. Airman 929-565 says, really surprised Xbox is not going for VR. And it's real simple. Microsoft dodged a major bullet. They don't need to worry about VR right now. The hype for VR is probably at one of its lowest points since it's been launched. I mean, VR is here to stay, but it doesn't have the hype. And so Microsoft dodged a bullet. They're going to wait as long as they can. Nick Daniels is checking in. What is up, Nick's? What is up, Nick? Unfortunately, we're about to call the show here. We've been going for about an hour. Tom Lloyd says Vive Pro has basically the same resolution as Samsung Odyssey. Ray Delatorre, Samsung FOV is a bit bigger than the Rift. Stereo Maximus says, for me, I find that if it's primarily a seated experience, nothing beats my Odyssey. For more room scale type stuff, the Rift works better. Yeah, so a lot of Odyssey report in chat. We have Odyssey, yeah, a lot of Samsung Odyssey support in chat. We've got a lot of Samsung owners, and it's not surprising because when it's on sale and you can get it for $400, you're getting the same resolution as a Vive Pro for this $400 price. And then there's also a way you could use your Samsung Odyssey and you can use Vive wands with it at the same time and have the tracking of the Vive wands with your Samsung Odyssey. Like some people do some mix and match stuff like that. I'd love to try an Odyssey. I know you can try one at the Microsoft Store sometimes. Somebody mentioned that. You can try, yeah, Pinnacle Rising says you can try the Odyssey at the Microsoft Store. I need to go to the Microsoft Store and I need to try HoloLens. I need to try an HTC Vive Pro. And I need to try Samsung Odyssey. I basically need to spend an entire afternoon at the Microsoft Store. And there is one, but it is heck of far away from where I live. But I really need to go ahead and do it. Hybrid Energy says, yes, there is something out there that gives you the Rift room scale and the 3K screens of Samsung. It's called the Vive Pro, LOL. Yeah, it's just a little bit pricey. Terry Blanchard, the VR train is about to leave without Microsoft on board. They'll hop on at the last possible minute. They'll hop on when it's simply just bad form for them not to. Hell, Apple. I believe Apple will eventually have a VR product, but they're going to wait until the last possible moment. That's what some of these companies are going to try to get away with. Yeah, so anyway, okay, IPCSK is saying he doesn't understand why they don't sell Odyssey in Europe. It's probably some EU, it's probably some kind of regulation or something, you know, it must be some kind of regulation. Nick Daniels says, so sad is about to end. It feels so comfortable here. Yeah, unfortunately, I will tell you this, Nick, tomorrow, what you can do, Nick, actually, there's going to be like 3 hours or almost 4 hours of broadcasting, live broadcasting. VR Roundtable is going to start 9 a.m. Pacific time. So you guys can go ahead and hop into chat now. VR Roundtable, we're not going to be as focused on chat as this show is because we're going to try to get through stories. There's 4 of us that have to yap. You know, this is just my pie hole here, so I could really lean into chat because it's just me and chat. But VR Roundtable, we got to share it a little bit more. So, but anyway, VR Roundtable, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then my show is going to, on this channel, 5 minutes later, the after party. So we can do a little bit more chat right after that. So if you're available tomorrow in the AM Pacific time, there's plenty of stuff to check out at that point. Hybrid Energy says, I have no Lighthouse issues. Had it since release. Mic feels the same as the original Vive. Headphones are junk. I think he's talking about the Vive Pro, right? So Hybrid, you got a Samsung and a Vive Pro? Push the Button said, heard that is something about Oculus and Samsung deal. Um, they don't sell Samsungs in Europe. It's too hot and violates their snowflake laws. Oh my God. We went to the snowflake card. Yeah, well, the European Union has a lot of interesting laws. Some of them I think are really good, though, from a standpoint of consumer rights. Like Steam has to deal with some stuff as far as the European Union is concerned. And the hope is that if it's almost like California, like here in the United States, like California will make all these special laws that are just in California, but the economy of California is so huge, we're basically another country. Like California's economy could stand on its own as a freaking powerhouse in the world in general. And so we'll make a law in California, and basically the whole United States kind of has to deal with the law. Like if it has to do with like manufacturing trucks with a certain level of emission, it's almost too expensive for them to make special trucks just for California. It's just such a huge market. So it kind of causes companies to change nationwide with their laws. And the European Union, my hope is in relationship to Steam and like consumer rights, and maybe even like, could we have the ability to sell our Steam games and like revoke them from our account and sell our Steam games and all that? That could be interesting too. Scion VR says, give Anthony your Odyssey. Yeah, hybrid. You must give me your Odyssey. Oh, no, he has an Acer. Chebby is checking in. My Odyssey is gathering dust. Never got controllers to track. Tried lighting changes, covering reflections, etc. So we have a dissenter in the house. Chebby checking in. He's like, I got to check in here. I got to make a statement here because everybody is pumping the Odyssey and he's having some issues. That sucks. And you know what? You always wonder, did you just get a random bad apple? What is the deal? Because I was talking just the other day, this was off of the show, but Jeff Gerstmann, like when they first got PlayStation VR, Jeff Gerstmann was trying PlayStation VR and he basically was like, PSVR is broken. He's like, straight up, PSVR is broken. And which I thought was patently ridiculous, but that's what he basically said. But it's amazing how one person will have an experience with something and somebody else doesn't. I'm trying to resize this little Echoes trailer here. But yeah, somebody will have a horrible experience with like a Rift, or they'll have a great experience with a Vive, and then another person has a terrible experience with the Rift, and somebody will get a Vive and they'll have all these, or Rift, they'll have all these problems with their Rift or Go. You just never know, man. Anybody can end up with a bunk unit for some reason. Ray Delatorre says, but I do love my Samsung Odyssey. Okay, Ray Delatorre says, I do have to put electrical tape around the back of my Odyssey controllers so the back doesn't slip off. But I do love Ray is all in. Ray loves his Samsung. Ray, you need to get a Samsung t-shirt and send us a pic of you holding your Samsung Odyssey with your t-shirt, thumbs up, like, yeah, buddy, my Odyssey. I love my Odyssey. Steroid Maximus, I had my Odyssey up and running in literally minutes. It took forever to set up my Rift. Every time I had to redo it, it really got in the way of the fun. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the days. Like, this is one of the reasons I'm really excited about trying this Oculus Go is friction. There's this word friction, and friction is the biggest issue that AR, VR, it's the biggest issue any of them have to deal with, because ideally, you want to have a situation, you put something on your head, it immediately works, it doesn't have jankiness, you don't have to charge all these different things up and make sure Windows is cooperating, make sure your sound is right. You know what? You guys call me an Oculus fanboy. I can give you some straight up complaints about the Oculus Rift. One of my problems is I'm always having sound problems with my Oculus Rift, where sometimes the sound works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like really with Steam VR, but it's an irritant. It's another one of these irritants. Another problem I have with my Oculus Rift is my Oculus software comes on. When I first turn on the Oculus, the software pops up on my computer and it says something about, would you like help setting up your new Rift? I keep getting this message over and over, and I've gone through the setup. I've re-gone through the setup. I still get that message. So we always deal with jank. All of us deal with jank. Jank is just a reality. And it'll be a great day when we have a device that has virtually no friction. Like PlayStation VR, there's some nice factors to the PlayStation VR from the standpoint, you start a typical PlayStation VR game up, it freaking works. You know, it works 9 times out of 10, actually better than 9, probably like 48 times out of 50, it works. But when you start a game in VR, maybe your sound doesn't work. Maybe you have to do this. Maybe you have to do that. Anthony, I'm betting your headphone connection is loose. No, my problem with sound on the Rift is like I'm often switching like these headphones here. I have them hooked up to this computer, but sometimes I use them with my PlayStation VR. And so like I'm disconnecting the headphones, doing all these kinds of things. And I get into all kinds of problems. Pinnacle Rising says, Anthony, I got a Rift because that is what you guys kept on VR Roundtable. I didn't consider the Vive because you guys sold yours. Yeah, well, we weren't selling our Vives to make any kind of statement. We originally sold our Vives because we wanted a Vive 2.0, and we thought that the LG was going to be a Vive 2.0. And we thought the LG was right around the corner, and it wasn't around the corner, and we got screwed. Oh, Scion VR is saying, Anthony, if you have a flathead screwdriver, you can tighten your headphones. Yeah. Sometimes I've taken my Rift headphones completely off. You guys see these big speakers back here? I used to play Beat Saber. Like when I first got Beat Saber, I took the headphones off of my Rift completely, had my ears just totally open, and I'm using these big loudspeakers playing Beat Saber, and I got the fans just blasting me like crazy. And I'll tell you what, that is the way to play if it is hot inside your room. Use external speakers and completely remove your headphones. But no, I don't have intermittent sound. It's either I have no sound whatsoever. It's something with my computer. I need to reload Windows. I know I do. Somebody up here was saying that they had a problem. They reloaded Windows and then it all worked. The Rift thing. I think it may have been Paradise Decay. At Anthony, do you use Oculus Trade Tool sound control? No, I don't think so. Paradise Decay says, a friend of mine just got a refund on his Vive Pro. He said he couldn't justify the price for the resolution difference. Yeah, I've heard people talking about they get the Vive Pro and they notice a benefit, but there's other things about it that irritate them, like little minor things. So that's the thing. The grass is not always greener on the other side. IPCSK, you can set in Steam VR and audio settings that your default audio device will be Rift headphones as soon as you start Steam VR. But that's doing too much, IPCSK, as my kids like to say. You're doing too much. That's too much friction. We need to have devices, we put them on, they instantly work. We got to think about Joe and Sally Walmart. VR is never going to become a huge mainstream thing if we don't convert Joe and Sally Walmart. And Joe and Sally Walmart are not going to deal with Oculus Trade Tool. They're not going to deal with doing all the... I mean, yeah, it's good for me as an enthusiast, and I'll deal with it. But I'm saying we eventually need to solve the friction problem with VR. It's easily the biggest problem with VR, period. Scion VR says, I have possible solution to hot rooms with no windows. It is called a personal space cooler. Check it out. Okay, the problem with those, Scion, is you got to make a vent somewhere. You got to vent that tube that comes out of the back of it. It has to vent somewhere. So if you get one of those, that's just like a portable air conditioner. Sure, you can have one of those, but you need to make an exhaust somewhere. I just use a ton of fans. Chris Gold says, Joe and Sally Walmart will buy a console. Well, yeah, they could buy PSVR, and it is easier. Like I said, PSVR works most of the time, but the problem with PSVR, you want to talk about friction, it has got wires going everywhere. The setup is complicated with the processing box, all these different wires going all these different ways, and then you got a number of wires like going to your actual headset. So PSVR, oh, this is different. It has no vent. How does it work with no vent? How is that possible? How could it not have a vent? Isn't there like water vapor or something that has to come out? Oh, Roy Schwartz, have you missed anything? Yeah, Roy, we're basically over with here. We started at noon Pacific. I wanted to have space between this show and F Reality so that people could possibly see both if they wanted to. Hey, John Shrewbrook is in the house. Rift owner here. My sensors are on the desk and never move. Encounter same problem as you when launching Oculus software where it asks you, do you want to set up your new device? Yeah, that's a problem. And you know what? Oculus support, I made a thread about this on the Oculus subreddit. They hopped in and they said, try running the setup one more time. If that doesn't work, start a ticket with them basically to try to figure out what the deal is. They're probably going to tell me to like reinstall Windows and stuff, which is like, man, really reinstalling Windows? Bullet Ape says, you are definitely right. Need to be able to switch it on and it works. That's what the future needs to be. Hybrid Energy says, they are electric mini fridges with fans, Anthony. Well, this is something new. Just add water, run 4 to 8 hours. But where does the water vapor go? Does it ruin your ceiling because it has to evaporate eventually, right? Something has to come out of this box. You're telling me there's a magical box that I can plug into the wall that will make my room cold and nothing comes out of it that harms my room? What is this crazy thing? Paradise Decay, I tried the Vive once at a trade show with Project Cars 2 and didn't find it as clear as what I'm used to with the Rift. So not sure if it was badly set up or if I have a next-gen Rift. Yeah, right. You got a next-gen Rift, Paradise. Paradise, I think it's kind of amazing you don't have a Vive, though, just because you are the man. You have everything. You should have a Vive. Like, get a used Vive. Chris Richardson calls it the Magic Leap air conditioner. Sounds like a swamp cooler to me. But doesn't a swamp cooler still have to have some kind of exhaust to it or something? Like, don't you put swamp coolers like in your window thing? I'm not an air conditioning guy. I don't know. Stereo Maximus says, the closest I've had to an actual plug and play experience, still not perfect, is my Odyssey. No, Steroid Maximus has a positive thing to say about the Odyssey. Ray Delatorre says, Wilson's Heart is my favorite game. Are you looking forward to their next game, Defector? The Rex Terra says, Oculus Go is probably the most accessible to set up of all the VR headsets. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I really hope they send my Oculus Go back very soon. All right, folks. Well, we have been running for a minute here. I am very sorry to Roy Schwartz that I am going to be bouncing out of here. Oh, Roy just got an Odyssey. And so he does need a decent laptop to run it. But yeah, I got to bounce out of here, folks. We've been going for a while. But like I said, tomorrow we are going to be like having a lot of content for you guys starting at 9 a.m. Pacific on the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. And then right after that, 5 minutes after the VR Roundtable episode, hop over here for the after party. So that's going to go ahead and do it. Thanks for watching. Once again, please like the video, subscribe to the show, do all those wonderful things, maybe tell a friend, something like that. And I will see everybody tomorrow on Sunday, 9 a.m. VR Roundtable, and probably like 10:45 on this channel AM. See you guys then. Later.